I have a couple other things that you'll need to do when it comes to your business, showcasing it, demonstrating it, and communicating what your business is about. I'm not going to go into that because I think you all know what showcasing your business is and what demonstrating your business is all about. But the one thing that I just want to mention really quickly about communicating your business, don't just leave if you met somebody, don't just leave the contact there. Okay? Make sure that you follow up with that contact so that you're able to develop a relationship there. And now that actually brings us to relationships and everything. I want to go back a little bit to when I was talking about when I was younger, and what we learned when we were younger. I was taught customer service, I was taught merchandising, I was taught a whole bundle of different little things in that simple task that my mother would give me of selling fruits. So we all have different backgrounds, some awful, really awful, some good, and some awesome. So if we think back to when we were, little itsy bitsy beings, there were times when we wanted something or when we needed something, and we figured out a way to get what we wanted, and we figured out a way to tell people what we wanted. The same thing goes for your business. You have to figure out a way to tell people what you want and get them to give you what you want. And how can you possibly be able to do that at 5 or 7 if you really just think back of how you interacted with people? If you at 5 and 7 and 6 and 4 and so on, it may not sound like much, but we actually did quite a bit of selling and persuading and stuff when we were itsy bitsy beings. But those core elements actually still carry over into the business, and it helps us to develop the relationships that we have today, because a lot of you, I know, remember people that were your age at 5 and 7 and you're still friends today. Well, some, at least one, right? One? Okay. So relationships, they help you to get what you want. They help you to develop your business, and it helps you really just to propel and move your business forward. And I know that when I say this, it's going to sound selfish, but basically it helps you to get what you want. You're not in business to see how you can build somebody else's house or pay off somebody else's credit card. You are in business to get what you want, right? No? Okay. All right, so let's work on those relationships, ladies. There's a favorite song that I learned as a child: smile a while and give your face a rest, and then raise hands to the one you love the best, and then shake hands with one nearby and give to them a smile. Complete relationship of us on earth with other people, how we treat ourselves, as well as our relationship with God. Okay? In just one little verse. And so you have to spread that little smile and do it for a little while, and relax yourself a little bit, and you realize how that is going to actually just get people to pull in towards you. A lot of the times it doesn't take much for people to respond to you. If you walk around with your face twisted, everybody around you is going to seem twisted. If you walk around with your face smiling, you are going to want to know what everybody else is grinning at. Trust me, I'm telling you. So, that attitude, you have to just let that attitude spill over. All right? And let people experience you and let them feel you and let them understand who you are. That is going to help you to personify your business. That is going to help you to when they come into your business, they're actually not just going to see a contractor, because I know their clothing store is what people would normally think of for women. But, there's some women who are some pretty good contractors. They can put together some awesome houses, some land developers and stuff, and some architects. Oh, yeah, there's some women that can do some awesome jobs when it comes to that. So let them experience you, and you'll want to, that will help you to introduce your business, actually, to the entire world, because people will be talking about you. And you want them to be talking about you in a good way. Bad will come, but nevertheless. So some of the attributes as a business owner that will help you when it comes to those relationships is listening. And when people are talking, you're going to have to listen. And then, after you listened, you need to process it a little bit. And then you're going to have to wait then respond. And that is for like almost every relationship when it comes to communication, right? If you want to know exactly what's going on with the other person, you're going to have to hear what's going on with them, process it, and then respond. Or maybe not, depending on on what it is. So it's just like human relationships when it comes to business. And when you allow people to see you and allow them to see what your business is all about, you are going to be able to show them your business is not just a thing, it's actually something that's alive. All right? It just helps you to open up yourself and open up your business. All right? So we talked about personifying your business, and your business will see a response that actually changes the hearts and minds of people and how they view your business. So what does this all mean for you and your business in particular? The returns in various ways. And all of this is really the law of reciprocity. And we know this, but we tend to call it different things. So you are going to be giving and you will receive. So what are you talking about, Kareen? Well, I just said it. Reciprocity. If you don't understand what reciprocity is, right, anyhow. So one of the best ways to strengthen relationships is to have some sense of obligation. And obligation works best when it's both ways. If it's one way, it's not obligation at all. It's not a pleasant obligation. It's actually called being unfair. And we have this intrinsic thing in us to be fair, you know. I've met some pretty horrible people, and for some strange reason, there's at least once or twice where they seem to want to be fair. I don't know whether they wouldn't want to be fair all the time, but anyhow. But we have that thing in us that encourages us to be fair, and then when you are fair, it also encourages other people to trust you. If you are unfair, people are going to be very suspicious of you, and they'll be going, oh, you're a conspicuous little person. And they will, be a little bit, standoffish and everything. So sometimes we have to, with our businesses, we have to think about what we can share with our customers that is going to be one thing that they will hold on to. And I want you to, I know not everybody in here owns a business, but think of one thing that you can share with your customer that, whether or not they come back, it's okay. It's all right. So before we go any further on the topic of reciprocity, I want you to remember that when you give, it's not simply a matter of giving to get back, because then that's almost disobedience to the law of reciprocity. You really just want to help and get people to be in a better space. It doesn't matter what that space is once it's in a better space than they are at that particular point in time. Remember when we were talking about, we're talking about relationships all now, but relationships have this push me, pull you thing. And if you think about the concept of push me, pull you, if you're pushing me and I'm pulling you, what's happening? We're all going forward. So if you think about your business, where it's a push me, pull you, and if you're pushing me and I'm pulling you, we're all going in the same direction, because pushing and pulling. I can't be pushing you back and you pushing me forward. That it's not gonna. It's actually physically impossible. If you understand. So push me, pull you, and I'm really stressing the human connection, because we have. I think we have all realized how important that human connection is, and that's why relationships is so important in business itself. And if you realize the difference between virtual connection and human connection, virtual connection can be some time-ish. Human connection, you never forget. You might forget to go and check an email or a text or something, but you'll never forget when you met somebody. I remembered when I met Fininia for the very first time. I remembered when I met you. Il Aguila, is that correct? Yes. With the women's session, lunch, brunch. Yes.
This year?
A month ago. That's right. There we go. So human connection makes a really big difference when it comes to your business. And the marketing and everything is virtual nowadays, but we really just need to get into the human connection. So that human connection may mean you taking up the phone. It may mean you sending a note, not a flyer, sending a note. So